It's been a while since I logged into Runescape Dragonwilds, and it got me wondering, when am I truly going to dive back into this experience that I thoroughly enjoyed during launch? This raises the question, are we in for a steady stream of updates, or will RuneScape fall into a similar content drought as Valheim did? Grab a cup of tea and let's discuss. Just over a week ago, the Dragonwilds team shared an update outlining their vision for the game, addressing player concerns, and kind of previewing what's ahead. In this post, executive producer Mod Dutch responds to fears of players and customers about the game facing, abandonment and being left in the dark, similar to what has happened to other Jagex titles in the past. His specific reply in this post is, I quote, "Because we did so well, we are going to be growing our team meaningfully to deliver updates and content to the game. More hands will soon touch code, design, art in order to expand the game. What does that mean? We will be significantly expanding the team and look to enlist development partners we've relied on in the past to help us. We are going to be further expanding the game so that when we get to a version 1.0, so a full release in late 2026, it will be amazing and all of its rich goodness will be included in the price of your early access copy." Now, this isn't meant as criticism, but I do find it a bit strange that a senior developer for RuneScape, who was also involved with Dragonwilds, was let go just a few days before this post during the layoffs. These words do seem promising, but it's hard to not feel a little bit conflicted given that key talent is being let go behind the scenes. Now, for the post, it is implied multiple times that they are going to invest in their team size and skill set to deliver on the updates we're about to cover. Their roadmap, so to speak. Now, until that point arrives, there's a couple of updates, including the magic skill and range skill getting some extensions, but the main big updates are coming every quarter. And the first big update is going to arrive late this year in December, called Fell Hollow. This update will introduce a new dragon boss, an undead blue dragon called Imaru, lesser green dragon mini-bosses in this area, steel armor, green dragon hide, of course, from the green dragons, and split bark armor for magic. Additionally, for melee, there's going to be scimitars as a new melee one-handed weapon, and a new questline, of course. Additionally, the Fell Hollow update is going to add a brand new skill, being farming. The second expansion is coming early 2026, and this is going to be a mountainous biome called Down Reach. This area's theme and lore is tied around Zamrak and the Black Knights, which I really like, and I think this is going to be one of the more interesting biomes because there's going to be Black Knight strongholds and resources integrated into the cliff, which to me seems like it's going to be really exciting, maybe a little bit frustrating to explore if you happen to fall down, but yes, it seems interesting and different. As for monsters, we can expect lesser blue dragon mini-bosses from which you can gain blue dragonhide armor, or blue dragonhide to make blue dragonhide armor, mystic ropes or magic, and another bit of core metal being mithril for mithril armor, of course, and weapons. New skill that is being introduced with this update expansion is fishing, which you're going to be able to do in rivers and lakes, and as you level, just like with woodcutting or mining, you're going to be able to use magical spells to improve your technique and efficiency when gathering, which is one of the things I really like about RuneScape Dragonwilds personally. Then somewhere around halfway through 2026, in quarter 2, the Umbral Sands expansion will arrive. What I like about this is that this seems like a new unique biome. It's not going to be something with mountains, it's not going to be another swamp, no, it's going to be a desert, and that's what I like. As for preparations, I assume that this biome is going to just completely drain your hydration level, even more so than it already did, so it's going to require you to bring something along, or perhaps some kind of special clothing to protect you against the heat. I'm interested to see what the mechanics around this biome will be. Now, there's going to be a new boss here, Fuzzran the Red Dragon, and there's of course also going to be lesser Red Dragon mini-bosses from which you can gain, you guessed it, Red Dragonhide for Red Dragonhide armor. As for gear for the other core styles, we're going to have Adamant for melee and Infinity for magic. Additionally, this update will feature the prayer skill, which will bring rituals, whatever that means, blessings, and base empowerment. The fourth and final expansion shown on the roadmap is the Scorned Wilderness, coming in Q3 2026. This one's going to have a hostile mechanic. It's going to be a hostile environment, similar to maybe the Stormtouch Highlands, but then something else. Maybe there's going to be lava that attacks you, or those volcanic eruptions. Perhaps even random monster spawns, just like the Wilderness rework, which happened to RuneScape 3, but they later reverted. As for monsters in this biome, think of elite brutal dragons of the green, blue, and red type, and lesser black dragons in this area. You're going to be able to find Rune Ore, nice touch there, Jagex, Black Dragonhide, of course, and Wild Out Robes from magic. The final boss for this area is a 5-headed black dragon, KBD, called the God Eater. Very menacing, Jagex. Very menacing indeed. Storyline-wise, we're going to be seeing the return of an iconic RuneScape character, which is what I would expect from RuneScape Dragonwilds, but as for the new skill that's being added with this update, I'm a little bit surprised. I would have actually expected this one to kind of be added earlier or sooner, because it seems useful as a sort of quality of life thing. The new skill is agility, and that will turn movement into mastery. Think sprinting, leaping, and, just traversing the world and unlocking new ways to move as you level up. It also includes improved stamina and magical movement spells, which I assume are going to be different to things that have already been added, such as Surge, with the recent magic improvements. One thing I personally do hope is that when they do add these updates, that they can be combined with other spells such as Wind Step, which currently, for example, Surge cannot. Like, you can jump up, but you can't surge forwards or down, which I would find quite useful. Now, on the way to the Scorned Wilderness update and eventually the 1.0 release, after that, Jagex is going to improve things such as quality of life, performance, increasing the skill cap to 99, and improving the early game survival flow. The post also mentions them looking to enhance the RuneScape feel by adding RuneScape-like quests and humor, and even random world events, which will definitely give a feeling of it being a RuneScape game. Now, I'm looking forward to these updates, but I'm also a little bit worried that that's going to take too long, and the hype and interest of players, including myself, for this game will die down. Yes, I'm definitely going to play Fell Hollow in December or winter this year, and I'm going to try out the other updates as they come out, and I'll probably make videos on them, but really doing a new playthrough or truly diving back into the game, I actually feel like I'd be better off just waiting halfway through 2026 or perhaps even for the full release before doing so, because that way you can experience the entire game again, and by that point it's more fleshed out, there's less bugs, they've fixed the, maybe like the imbalances grind-wise or combat-wise or gear progression-wise. You can, level beyond the level cap, all of the stuff will be there. Yeah. That's basically my thought process there. But what if the team run into unexpected barriers and setbacks that delay the updates on this roadmap and push back the full release? Well, if they do not miss the early deadlines, like the ranged update in September or Fell Hollow in December, that will build trust and improve confidence from us players, or perhaps newer players, in this game making it to the full release. If they do start to miss these early deadlines, I think that's a red flag, and at that point it can quickly run into a Valheim type of situation where players don't even know when the full release is truly going to come and if it's going to be pushed back again. Because with Valheim, yes, they had a small team at first. After their success, they just took way too long to add new updates. And some updates weren't even that big content-wise either. These updates seem like expansions, big expansions, biomes that is, every quarter, after December that is. And that's promising. With Valheim, I believe the time between the Mistlands and the Ashlands update was like nearly 1.5 years, which is just way too long and completely kills the confidence players have in the game, fully releasing that is. And in between that time, there's a good chance these players will move on to another game that does fill in that gap for them. At least for the time being. They might come back, when enough content is added, which is usually what happens. But I'm just trying to say that once you have a spark, fast and expansive updates are fuel, and without that fuel, the fire kind of dies down. And I just hope that Jagex capitalizes on this, and after the update in December, just continues to deliver content consistently to keep that spark or fire burning. For now, though, it seems that the bonfire of a launch, 600,000 copies in its first week, has kind of, burned down to a small little campfire. A successful launch is not a guarantee for long-term success, but if Jagex can avoid the Valheim gap trap and stay on pace, then we could be in for something special. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it interesting. If you did, leave a like down below, and maybe if you consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.